Alright, hello folks to YouTube. This is me from the future. I'm giving post commentary to this game. Let me explain what's going on first. So as you can see, my rating is reset. It's gonna show it in a moment. I'm at 3000. And the reason for that is because I switched from European server to Chinese server. I've done it the previous season. I'm playing on China because it's really fun for me. It's a very challenging server. So yeah, that is the reason behind the rating. And the post commentary, I treat my Chinese rating very preciously. So there are gonna be some games where I'm not gonna talk, some Twitch streams, I'm not gonna be talking, but I still get cool games, and I feel like it will be like a bit of a waste to not upload them to YouTube. So yeah, let's dive into the game. So we pick Hawk Task. It's a beast lobby. It's like a very meta hero right now because Alicat came back to the minion pool. So what you wanna do on Hawk Task is repeatedly hero power Alicat, get even more minions to hero power, and get a good board that way. That's always the goal with the Hawk Task. And so yeah, for people that will feel like the lobbies will be like really weak because I'm at 3000 MMR, what Chinese server does is there is internal MMR, right? Your visual MMR gets reset, but your internal stays, at least on the Chinese server. So I'm actually playing in very strong lobbies, even though it might not seem that way. So yeah, the Trinket choice. I was looking at the Stein at first, but I ended up picking the Horn of Summoning. The reason for that Horn is because I can get a triple immediately, like you see now. The Stein was very tempting, like Stein, roll for 5 drops, but getting a triple immediately won't let me to sell my board and go for tier 6. And mainly what I was looking for from 6s are the dragon cards. I was looking at Ignition, I was looking at a Walker, but I ended up getting a Striker, which is also really good. Good economy, good direction. You kinda wanna play on that right now, and that represents meta. But yeah, what was on my mind right at this moment is getting like Dragon 6s. I wanted to play a Walker comp, but obviously Undead is not a bad option too. So yeah, was really interesting because Stein also offered a lot of value, but Horn, it just happens way faster, because I'm also Hawk Task, right? If I get a tier 1 minion I don't like, I can still sort of make it work. Make a triple out of that. And I froze the shop. I was a bit hesitant to freeze it at first, but I froze it for this exact play. Look at this, just beautiful. Making this triple, discounting a spell, I can level with that spell. I was hesitant to freeze it at first, because if I haven't gotten a triple, that would not be like a really good freeze. I would wanna get Survive Shop, but it ended up working out beautifully. Just because of that outcome alone, it was worth it. And yeah, this turn 7 board, absolutely ridiculous. Double Striker, tier 6. Can't ask for more. And I ended up doing something very interesting in that game, which you will see in a moment. It might look like my direction is attack scaling Undead, right? Like I got Striker. They're farming for me. They're really good late game unit. But I ended up doing something very different than what it might seem I would go for. And yeah, as you also can see, I got 2 butcher guys, the guys that give butchering. So it really seems like I would go for that comp, right? Like buff your summons. And summon as many as possible. However, I ended up getting a catacomb crusher. And this is a very specific situation in which you have all of the pieces for one comp, but you ended up playing another comp that is better. So yeah, catacomb crusher is a better comp than attack scaling Undead, but I'm only able to switch to it because it's very early, it's only turn 8. I would not be doing this play if it was, let's say, turn 9, turn 10 maybe. So yeah, I completely switched to a Catacomb Crusher comp. The comp is just harder to counter, more potential too, more stats. It's like better in every single way, pretty much. So yeah, very interesting switch here. From like Deathly Striker to the Catacomb. And now it's the Greta Trinket turn. It rolls around. I ended up picking Pagel Fishing Rod. The reason for it, you can see I'm not really happy to get the Tyrant. The reason for it is because I can get Moira and I can get Stitches. Both of them are incredible for my setup. The Stitches, I will use it on Cadaver and repeatedly proc Overflow. And Moira is just a Moira, like it's a Titus for my comp. But yeah, this Tyrant made me a bit upset, not gonna lie. Which is also a lesson that you don't wanna pick Fusion Rod like that much. If you're not in a good spot and you end up getting at tier 7 you don't really want, that's gonna make your game feel quite bad. You're gonna feel like you low rolled, you're gonna feel like, oh, my opponent's hit and I don't. But in reality, you just picked a bad Trinket. Like, it's not a good Trinket. You just hear that I'm ahead and I can take a gamble. Gamble on Moira, gamble on Stitches. But yeah, if you play for a Mamar, this isn't something you pick often, the Pagel Fusion crowd. Yeah, this is exactly why. Like, you can get good cards, but you might also not. I got Tyrant, I got a Quilboar guy, like, hello. Balanced team, full balanced. So yeah, the gameplay from here is very straightforward. You just look for the titles, look for a golden chicken. What you can also do in late game with this comp, that I ended up like trying to do, but it wasn't worth it, is you can eat your golden catacomb into a horse and use Kel'Thuzad on it to multiply it. If you're missing some stats, it will be a lot stronger eventually. That comp always has that option. I ended up getting a Moira here, which is obviously what I wanted to hit in the previous 2 turns, but it's still good. Still a very valuable piece of my comp. Catacomb just in time. I was gonna sell a horse if I don't hit it, I believe. That was going through my mind. That this horse is gonna leave and I'm gonna need to put Moira on board. And here I ended up getting a Titus, and I did something very interesting that I feel like not many players will really think about. I play a Moira over the Titus, because it's less valuable than a Titus. And the reason for that is because Titus can make golden easily, Moira not so much. I'm not gonna find Moira in a shop. So you typically wanna play a unit you can sell in the spot, because if you need a flex spot to like play some kind of card, you can sell a Moira and then end on a Titus. And it is important to do it in this order because Titus is easier to triple. So if I sacrifice something, it's gonna be Moira. Very important detail over here. Something that you need to think about. Found the eyes, but I don't really need them. Like, I'm not gonna run a second golden cadaver in this comp. So it's obviously not worth it. You also don't run Macau in this comp. You really don't need it if you got chickens. So yeah, I ended up here powering Kamoira to try to triple this chicken on this turn, and it ended up happening because I'm just that lucky. Cannot escape stream client allegations no more. And yeah, picking Mutanus for later, for the play I explained before, like eating a catacomb into a horse, use Kel'Thuzad on it. Something that I might do. Just good to have an option, you know? Ended up getting a Siege on this turn, and I roll into a Titus immediately. So this is the play that might keep a Titus good. You can roll into a Titus, but you can never roll into a Moira. Instant payoff. You might see it as lucky, but you also might have had a Moira on board. So is it really lucky? I mean, it is, but some skill went into it for sure. So yeah, I ended up selling another chicken because I feel like I don't need scaling as much anymore. And we ran a Selfless. Selfless is incredible for the horse. Giving a Divine Shield is super valuable. And a Divine Shield's my full board as well. So it's a phenomenal unit to end over here. You don't typically run Selfless in this comp, but if you can, it's always a good add-on. And yeah, Alex had like a triple golden evoker. Cyan is pretty nuts. It's by far the hardest server to play on. Which is why I'm here. Always looking for that challenge. I end up buying a lot of buffs. They might seem useless, but what I'm playing around is Chicken Blaster. So if my opponent, let's say, plays a Chicken and Blaster, and he goes first, he might end up killing my small stuff. It doesn't really matter to play around it, but if I can, then why not, right? That was the reason about buffs. They had a purpose as well. Not just buying them for fun. And my last tier 7 is another Tyrant. I really wanted to play this comp with Stitches. It's a shame I never ended up getting it. Can't complain about that. I found a Kate's Drakari, so if I want to like pivot, if I want to eat my Crusher into horse, I can do it. It doesn't really make sense though, because my opponent can only scam me, right? He's like not that big in stats. And it's better to keep my current setup against the scam, so there's really no point in trying to do the KT. But if I wanted, the option was there. I'm not sure how often we're gonna do those. We're gonna do them in some games that are really like fun and I still wanna upload them. So yeah, bye bye. Thank you for watching.